One Piece. Most people love it, some people hate it, but we can all agree it's an iconic anime. But when it comes to the games, that's not exactly the case. I love One Piece. Matter of fact, I caught up to the anime like a year ago when there were about 1075 episodes. But then I completely stopped watching anime entirely, and I wanna get back on the saddle. And what better way to do that than by platinuming the lowest rated One Piece game, One Piece World Seeker. But before we get into the game, let's see what people are saying on some reviews. One Piece World Seeker is an unfinished game, its open world is shockingly barren, its gameplay is clearly undercooked. One Piece World Seeker has an ambition but fails to perfect the execution, the camera is horrible, side quests don't add anything, and the large island feels empty. Thankfully, the many skills and interesting main quests save the little there is left. It looks great and the story is decent, but One Piece World Seeker's 20 hours of one-note combat and repetitive misleading quests aren't worth suffering through. After reading some of these reviews, I am a little scared to start this game because if you know anything about me, I don't only go for the platinum, I go for the full 100%. And this game has a total of 4 DLC packs, which add up to a total of 65 hours. But enough yapping, let's start the story. The story begins at the Sky Prison where Luffy is being held captive, but he manages to escape, leading to one of the few exciting cutscenes with the main bad guy Isaac. You'll see what I mean by one of the few cutscenes in a second. The fight wasn't going our way, so we jumped off the Sky Prison. While falling, we got one last vicious backshot and landed on a beach, where we meet Jian, Johnny, and the worst feature of this game, reading. Now listen, I don't really mind reading, but this is an anime game, but at least they do add some cutscenes here and there. Anyway, we asked Johnny and Jean if they saw any of our crew, and Jian tells us that our medic Chopper is somewhere in Sapphire Town treating everyone's injuries. While making our way there, we learn the basic movement and combat. We also learn about perception haki. This shows us where nearby people and collectibles are. This is gonna help a lot when going for the 200 chests later on. With our newly discovered ability, we managed to find Chopper in a nearby building, which also got us our first trophy. A bit later, I also got another trophy for getting 10 headshots with the range attack. We meet with Chopper again where he's trying to help an injured pirate, but his captain isn't allowing us to help him, so we had to fight him. In this fight, we unlock the armament haki. In One Piece World Seeker, we can switch between two combat modes. One is called observation haki. With this one, you basically hit faster, but with armament haki, you do more damage. It's the only one we use for the entire game. This mode melts enemies. You can't really notice it right now because I didn't have any upgrades, but you'll see it later on. After the fight, Chopper helps the pirate and he also tells us where we might find our next crew member. But when we got there, we found Smoker, our first boss fight. And I have to point out, when fighting enemies, if you hit them once or twice in the head, they just fall for 2 or 3 seconds and you can't hit them till they get back up, which really slowed down the gameplay for me. After defeating Smoker, we headed to Steel City to see if we can find any of our crew there. While I was fighting some marines, I got a trophy for 100 headshots. We talked to some locals around Steel City to see if they seen any of our crew, and they told us to find Jill the Informed. When we find her, she informed us that our navigator Nami is nearby. She also tells us there has been a riot here in the city. Basically, the island is split into two groups, the anti-navy and the pro-navy. And the islanders are speculating that the anti-navy are behind the riot. But that's something we're going to have to investigate later. Right now, we have to focus on finding our crew. While making my way to Nami, I unlocked a trophy for flying for 5 seconds during a single gum-gun rocket flight without landing. We find Nami in the middle of the city and learn that Robin and Frankie have been captured. Before we rescue them from the prison, we got a lead about the riot. So we decide to track down some pirates who've been supplying weapons to the navy. And after taking them out, I got the next story related trophy. Back to finding our crew, we found Sanji, or Sanji found us while we were talking to Jean. Shortly after, we also got 2 trophies for finding some collectibles. We found Brooke in a graveyard, and not long after, we came across Usopp in a small village. Then we headed to the prison to find Robin, but while making our way there, we also found Zoro, who's in a battle with Isaac, the guy from the start of the game. After breaking Robin out of jail, we got a trophy for traveling a total distance of 50,000 across the island. To end of the chapter, we headed back to 2000 Sunny, where all the crew were, so we can talk about the riot situation, which gave me another trophy. But we got interrupted by Donnie, who warned us that the plaza was being attacked by robots. When we defeated the robots, Isaac showed up again, and here it's revealed that Isaac and Jean are siblings. They rant about some stupid family stuff, and Jean just disappears right in front of our eyes, like my dad. We find her at the graveyard where she's visiting her mother, who was murdered by pirates, trying to get to the Dinostones. Dinostones are basically stones with deadly powers. A bit after, my dumbass finally discovered that I have skills, and after unlocking 10 of them, I got a trophy. Next we did a tailing mission on Sanji's evil brothers, and that got us a trophy for reaching pirate rank 10. Pirate ranks are acquired by doing side missions and doing specific moves on bosses. Getting back to the main missions, we get told that a Navy Admiral is after us. Admirals are the Navy's strongest soldiers, but as you can see, he was dealt with pretty easily. After the fight, he tells us he senses that someone is watching us, and that we should both be careful. I also got the next story trophy. I have to show you one of the most retarded things this game has, and that's the map. They tell you to find the person on the map, and they give you this big ass circle with no clues on where the person might be. So I had to Google every time the game did this, and let's just say it did it more than once. Stupid shit aside, Google finds Jian in the graveyard where she's visiting her mother's grave. We give her the never back down, never give up bullshit, and she comes up with a plan to sneak in the radio tower to speak to everyone on the island. While making our way up the tower, we earned a trophy for defeating 200 sailors, and another trophy for 10 takedowns. When we reached the top, Jian finally said what she wanted to say to the islanders.
Some booty holes you gotta eat, some booty holes you gotta finger.
Now we head to the next objective, where the game gives us the classic can't turn back message. We press yes and we see that the whole island has gathered in the plaza, but we also get an uninvited guest. Isaac tells Jian that he's doing all of these bad stuff because he wants revenge on the world government for killing his mother. Basically, the world government hired pirates to kill their mother because they knew that if their mother wasn't in the picture, the islanders would be more vulnerable, so they can get the Dinostones easier. He also reveals his evil plan to start a war, but before Jian could do anything, this happens. After rescuing Jian, we go after Isaac when I accidentally unlock this trophy for discovering the whole map. He unfortunately gets away, and he also sends a bunch of attack robots across the island. While taking them out, I got the 100% karma trophy for one character. And I also got the complete 20 side missions trophy, which doesn't make any sense because this mission is part of the main story, but we'll take him anyway. After destroying all the robots, we get another trophy. Now it's time for the Sky Prison, where we get another trophy for just arriving there. Kind of a lazy trophy from the devs, but I won't complain. We see the Dinostones for the first time, and to be honest with you, I kind of expected them to look like the Infinity Stones or something. Jian tries to talk to Isaac, but it was pretty useless and he knocks her out, which led to the first boss fight. After the fight, Isaac came to his senses and he basically sacrifices himself so he can save his sister, but I know he could have survived that, he just wanted to look cinematic. But anyway, he blows himself up and that concluded the story. A quick note before we tackle these last few trophies, I was gonna cover the DLCs of this game, but the trophies were super repetitive and boring, and the stories weren't doing much either, so shout out to the bland and boring stories, I guess. But anyways, let's start with the massive cancer grind of this game, starting with this trophy that I got naturally, where I had to defeat 100 pirates. I also accidentally got this trophy for reaching pirate rank 50. Later on we're gonna have to get pirate rank 100. I'll explain it more in detail later because this trophy was one of the worst ones. A minute after, I unlocked 40 skills, then I performed 30 perfect guards. Next I got the only missable in the game, which is to go to Sky Island. To be honest, I don't know how this is missable because you can come back to the cannon that takes you there at any time, but I could be wrong. While I was exploring the Sky Island, I got a trophy for collecting 25 equipment and 25 plants. Then while doing a side mission, I got a trophy for being in the air for 30 minutes. And when I finished that side mission, I got another trophy for getting 20 cooking recipes. Next I decided to do this trophy for destroying 100 objects. I did this one by destroying every object in this castle, then just resetting it and destroying them all over again. Then I decided to do the 100 side missions trophy, and quickly I realized how repetitive and boring all of them are. Most of them are go here, find this, kill this person, or find a certain material and give it back to them. That's all they were. So the fact that I had to do this 100 times and Luffy yelling the same line over and over again when I do the Gum Gum Rocket made me turn myself in the Arkham Asylum. But anyway, after that was done, I asked the Straw Hats to go exploring 3 times. I also got 2 combat trophies, one for 30 perfect dodges and another one for 100 stealth takedowns. Next I wanted to finish the Pirate Rank 100 trophy. What this is basically every character in the game has something called karma, and every time you finish that character's side mission or random combat stuff like using Gum Gum Rocket on a certain boss, you get that person's karma. And to reach rank 100 I had to finish everyone's karma. This proved itself to be one of the most frustrating trophies in the game, not because it was hard, but because for some reason some side missions didn't spawn, because you had to complete a certain side quest, so you can unlock that side quest, and it was just a whole lot of not fun confusion. Then I spent a whole hour XP farming so I can get all the skills. Went back to the Sunny so that I can craft 20 items. After I gathered around 6 enemies, then used Gum Gum Gatling so I can kill them all simultaneously. Then I proceeded to do all the DLCs. To say the least, these were not fun at all. All of them had like 2 or 3 hours of stories. Then when that was done, I had to XP grind for like another 3 to 4 hours so that I unlock all their skills. But the only good thing that came from these DLCs were the treasure chests, because when you enter a DLC, all the treasure chests reset. So basically there are about 200 chests in the map, and I collected about 150 of them while doing the main trophies. And then I collected the last 50 in the DLC, so I didn't have to find the hidden chests. That would have taken me forever to find. Okay, for the last trophy I have to send the Straw Hats exploring 12 times. But if I wanna do this legit, I'd have to wait an hour every single time I send them. So what I have to do is change the time on my PlayStation to an hour. Okay, so all I have to do is change this to 12:57. Boom. Boom, and he's back. I send Zoro. All I have to do is talk to him. And boom, he got the stuff back. Okay, talk to Sanji again. And send Zoro again to an hour. Boom. Did I just get the platinum and... What? 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 So that's why this shit isn't popping. I got it, but it didn't pop. I've been doing this shit for so long.
I'm fucking bald. I feel like the clip is finding first.
Well, there's the platinum. There it is. To say the least, I did not enjoy the game. Most people say they like the story. To be honest, it's not something I personally enjoyed, but I do see why they enjoyed it if you know what I mean. It also took me 52 hours. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, because I didn't.
Is that dick good? Yes, kid. How good is that dick? Oh, how good